Welcome to an introductory lesson on using basic proportions. This problem could be solved in different ways. The method we are going to practice here is to translate to a proportion and then use that to solve the problem. So let's begin by reading the problem. Sue goes to the fabric store at a rate of 6 times a month. How many times would she be expected to go to the fabric store in 6 months? So the first thing you need to recognize is that this gives us a basic rate. 6 times a month could be written as 6 times per month, which is a rate. That means we go to the 6 times over 1 month would be the rate that we would use for that proportion. So 6 times in 1 month, and a proportion is set up so that we have two equal ratios. So this rate, special type of ratio, 6 times per month, is equal to, if you have time over months or visits per month, then this equivalent ratio or rate should also be times over months. So how many times would she be expected to go to the fabric store in 6 months? So we know we have 6 months in this ratio, and we don't know the number of times. Now, the basic strategy for solving a proportion is to use the means and extremes theorem. That is, you multiply the extremes, 6 times 6 on one side, and then the means, 1 times is equal to 1 times x on the other. And so that just gives us 36 is equal to 1 times x, which is x. So the proportion would be 6 over 1 is equal to x over 6. That is our proportion. And x would equal the number of times in a month. That would be 36. Now, another proportion you could have written, because proportions can be written in many ways, and that is, if we just try and erase all of this, you could have, even though this isn't very intuitive, 6 times a month is a rate, but that is the same rate as 1 month you would visit 6 times. So rates can be written in more than one way. So if you have 1 month equals 6 times or 6 visits, then you could then say, well, in 6 months, that would result in x visits. And again, we'd use the means and extremes, and we multiply the extremes. 1 times x is equal to 6 times 6, which again gives us x is equal to 36. But in this case, the proportion would be written as 1 over 6 is equal to 6 over x, this proportion, and it gives us the same result. I hope this lesson was helpful.